Okay, so I did my presentation on South African women. My name is Leah Williams. The location is in South Africa. The capital of South Africa is Pretoria. South Africa is located at the very bottom tip of Africa. The religion of South Africans are mostly of Christianity. It is also very multicultural, what makes it even more interesting to talk about because there are many different ethnic groups that make up the South African population. The culture is mixed in with immigrants such as Indians, British, and a lot more different cultures that make up the population. Since South Africa is such a diverse population, it can be difficult to pinpoint the particular culture because there are so many different ones. Same as the United States with how diverse it is. Women in South Africa. So, South African was all started on a war. The war started the South African Union was the South African War. The South African women have just recently been given recognition for their political organization. I feel this region is unique because of the struggle that the South African women had to go through. With all the obstacles that they have faced, one being able to have gender equality. The gender equality problem that the South African women face is very similar to the ones that the American women have been going through for centuries. That's another reason why these women interested me. South African traditions. The South African community is very traditional based. They call it a family or a tribe. The tribe that they have in South Africa is what provides the financial security, just as it would in the traditional American family. Women in South Africa have yet to attain senior level positions. In order for a woman to obtain a position in a business, she must go through behavior scenarios or certain tests that males would not have to go through just to get a certain position in South Africa. They traditionally hold the men on a higher pedestal than women. Um, Health in South Africa. So let's get into that. In South Africa, there are private and also public health systems that do exist just as they do in the United States. There are major health issues in South Africa that they are facing right now. The South African community has been facing issues since 2008 global economic crisis. One of the big health issues that South Africa is facing is extreme poverty. The poverty in South Africa affects a large portion of the population. The reason why they have extreme poverty in South Africa is because they have a lack of clean water for the poor. They do not have the adequate nutrition that they should have. Also, in poverty, the sanitation is a big problem for South African population. These are all major health concerns for the people in South Africa, which struggles with extreme poverty. There are a lot more risks for certain diseases to be spread through this extreme poverty. Health issues in South Africa. There are a lot of health issues that the South African community face. Another health issue that they face is tuberculosis, which they have one of the worst epidemics that in the world. Just to imagine that is sad. Tuberculosis is a serious infectious bacterial disease and it mainly affects people's lungs. In the US, tuberculosis is very rare to get, so the fact that it's such a problem in South Africa shows there's a big health problem that needs to be taken care of. Determinants. The determinants for the South African community is lack of funding that they have. Most of the hospitals in South Africa are in crisis because a lot of the public health care is dysfunctional. These hospitals are not able to run smoothly because of underfunding. This is also the result of not having the proper management to able to funding. Because of this underfunding, this is also the result of not having proper management to run these health facilities. Since I am studying to be a health administrator, that stands out to me because having people who know what they're doing and is being able to fund everything correctly affects people's health. They cannot get the proper care if they do not have the funding for certain tools or tests. These health issues that South African citizens are facing are also results of neglect. Health issues amongst South African women. This is the main portion, the main problem of the South African that I was talking about was South African women. The main health issue among the South African women is acquired immune deficiency syndrome, which is also known as AIDS, which is a disease that is caused from HIV. This disease interferes with the body to try to fight infections. It attacks the body's immune system. Once a woman or a person is diagnosed with AIDS, she will always be positive with it. It is a disease that is not curable. A person gets HIV through blood, semen, and vaginal fluids. It is disease transmitted through sex. It can be deadly disease as well. The reasons why the AIDS rating is so high in the South African community is because a lot of people are having sex with the same gender and then spreading the HIV. Also, there are sex workers and then those who inject drugs into the systems with needles, such as things like that. Helping the AIDS issue in South Africa. South Africa has the biggest antiretroviral treatment program in the world to help get the AIDS epidemic in South Africa under control. The program, antiretroviral therapy, is a combination of drugs that will suppress the HIV virus and it also the growth of the HIV in South Africa. The South African community is getting healthier with the treatments they have put into place for the growth of the HIV. As far as the health care for the citizens, more than half of the citizens have no medical insurance. They are still trying to get funding under control. It is nowhere near great. There are a lot of things that still need a lot of work done for this community's health. Improving health in South Africa. I feel personally the best strategy in improving the health in South Africa is continuing to put programs in line to help HIV epidemic that they have. The other main thing I would focus on is trying to put together people in the management side of the health field to handle getting things back under control. Try to get the funding back right so that the healthcare facilities can be properly ran for the sick. Try to get businesses in other countries to help with funding for the poverty issues they are facing. South Africa has a lot of work that needs to be done to the health system. They need the proper funding and management to get it at a decent place. These are my references that I used throughout the presentation. Thank you.